I have 3 products from the company Nitecore. All 3 of them are intended to help you deal with biting bugs while you're out in the woods. And they are the EMR10, the EMR25, and the Bite Healer. If you're interested in hearing more about them, keep watching. Before we get started, I do want to thank Nitecore for sending out these products so that I can share them with you. Now, I've had the EMR10 since last fall. They sent it a little late in the year. The bug season was over, but I did try it a few times that fall, but you know, there wasn't any bugs to really tell if it was making any difference on. And they sent the EMR25 early this spring. Actually, it was late winter, even before the bug season began. So I got a chance to try both of these this spring in through bug season. Well, it's still bug season out here, as well as this tiny little item, which is the Bite Healer. I'll talk about all 3 of them in a moment. So what I want to do is very quickly go through the specifications for each of these units. They have some similarities and they have some distinct differences as well. I'll put all of that information in the video description, but what I want to do is talk about my experiences using them. All right, let's get started. All right, I think what I will do is put all the specifications for your reference in the video description. If you're interested in the size and the weights and that type of thing, it'll be there. This will just save me a little bit of time. Let me get to the key features and the operating of these devices as well as my experiences using them. So basically, both of these devices have batteries that operate them. So they're heated devices like a thermocell, except the source of their energy are rechargeable lithium-ion batteries. So that's where the similarities are. Now, there are some distinct differences. I'll start with the EMR10 because this is the one I've had the longest. Now, the EMR10 operates off of 2 5,000 milliamp 21700 batteries that are replaceable. That's not often the case with Nitecore products. A lot of the times they, if I can get the pad, little spring holding it on here, they are not replaceable. So there they are. There are 2 5,000 milliamp 21700 batteries that you can take out, replace whenever you need to. So that's a nice feature for the EMR10. I quite like that because you know, if it's built in and it dies, you know, what are you going to do? So, all right, so the way these operate, as I mentioned, is that like a thermocell, you put a pad that has a repellent on it in here. Now, this is the pad. I took the one out that I had been using so you could see it rather than open up a new package. They come in packages about this. They call it like that. Well, not like that. This is what they come in. So these are the larger pads. They're like a standard thermocell size pad, and they go in and they operate exactly the same way. You slide them through here. There is a heating element in behind them that when you turn the device on, it heats up and causes the insecticide to disperse and create a cloud in your immediate area. The material on these is pralletherin. 10 milligrams of pralletherin on each one of these things. I'm going to struggle every time I say that. I know that I am. And yeah, so this is the basic one. Now, there is a secondary function on both of these devices that I wasn't quite sure what to make of it, but I have some knowledge and experience using it now, so I can comment on it. And that is they have a sonic repeller. So there's not only the heating element to heat up the insecticide pad, there is also a sonic repeller. Now, I had assumed, falsely or wrongly, that this would help repel mosquitoes, black flies, deer flies, hopefully, but it's not. It's actually meant for ground-based pests like mice and squirrels. And when Nitecore told me that, I realized, oh yeah, I've heard of those before. They sell them quite commonly at a lot of the hardware stores. If you have mice in your house somewhere, you plug these devices in, they emit a sonic sound that's way beyond the human hearing. It irritates the mice and sends them scampering, literally, right? Okay, well, here's the thing. They work and they don't. They work for a very short period of time. There is some research and evidence to say that when you first start using them, they will scare the mice because it is a sound that they're not used to, and they'll take off. However, they're clever enough that they'll become habitualized to it and come back. So it's just background noise for them after a short period of time. Now, that is true of being in a house, but does that apply to being out in the woods where maybe you're only using this for one evening as you sleep on the ground, you just don't want the mice in your tent or around your your campsite, and you use that? Will this help repel the mice and maybe the squirrels or anything else that might get into your food bag? Possibly. I can't prove it because I haven't had that experience with it. I can't tell, well, I can't even hear it, so I can't even tell that it's on. I have to assume it's on because it drains the battery. But I cannot say that this has repelled mice because I haven't seen any mice around my site here to start with. So I'll just put that out there. You decide for yourself if that's a function that is going to be of use for you. I mean, it's built into the device. You're getting it anyway. Maybe you want to try and use it. The only thing I'll say is it does drain battery, and that's true. Okay, so operating these devices, I can do a quick battery check by pressing either of the buttons. I'm not sure if that's going to show up. The LED display telling me I have 98% of my battery. To operate the devices, just press and hold, and it starts off with the lower of the two heating temperature ratings and they call it indoor. And if you want to go to outdoor rating, tap it again and it goes to outdoor rating. Now, with each of those ratings, it also tells me how many hours are left on the battery. So right now it's on outdoor. Let's put it up. I'm not sure that it will tell you, or if you'll see it. It says there's 5 hours of battery left here to operate this, heating up that pad for outdoor. And I'll tell you, it does heat up. Yeah, I'm starting to feel the heat come on it already. If I tap it back to indoor, 11 hours. So, you know, it depends, right? You know, there's not enough bugs here today. We have a windy day and it's been dry, so there's not a lot of bugs here. So I don't know how well well, you can't demonstrate no bugs, right? You can only turn it on when bugs are all over you and then demonstrate it. So, but I can share my experiences using it. Okay, so that's the basic operation of this one. It is rechargeable, USB Type-C. The port is on the top right there. So that works well enough. Like I said, all the specifications. Oh yeah, it is getting quite warm. Oh, now let me share my experiences using them now. You have to be careful dropping these into your backpack. This morning, I put them in my backpack before heading out, and then I went to put something else in and discovered that this one had been turned on, and it was starting to get hot. Reason being, something came up against the button, held the button down just long enough for it to turn on, and yeah, so there's no electronic lockout that you have to press 2 buttons at a time or anything like that, which would decrease the chances of turning it on. So I guess the word of caution here is when you're putting it in your pack, be careful, you know, nothing laying up against it so it doesn't turn it on. By the way, there is a belt clip on it, but to be honest, like the thermocells, and I have a whole video on thermocells. I will link to the end of this video to talk about how they're intended to operate. These operate best when you're not moving and there's no wind. The concept is that as the element heats up, it creates that cloud of the pesticide, and it gives you a dome of protection. That's the concept behind it. If there's wind, it's just going to wipe your dome away. If you're moving, the dome never gets a chance to build up. So you just have to be aware of it. So today, for instance, even if it was buggy, it's a bit too windy for me to count on these to work. All right, I'm going to turn that one off. We'll probably come back with a few more comments in a minute. Now, this is the EMR25. This has a 2500 milliamp hour lithium-ion battery built in. You can't access it, you can't replace it. It's built in, so that's one of the differences between the two devices. But what's interesting about this device is that it comes apart, and it allows you to charge the built-in lithium-ion battery in here. However, like a lot of electronic devices are operating nowadays, this is not only a battery pack for the device, it's also a power bank for your phones, your cameras, whatever else you need to do. So there's the connection, USB Type-C, PD fast charge. The other one isn't, it's just a regular USB Type-C. So this will accept a fast charge and recharge it up very quickly, and it is considerably quicker. And discharge for fast charge. So if you have a modern cell phone and it takes a fast charge, then you can use this as a power bank. A 2500, 2500. I'll have to put that in the video description. I think it's 25,000, isn't it? Yes, 25,000 milliamp hour lithium ion battery. So the rest of the device is very similar. Let me put it back together. Just snaps together, and you can see slightly smaller than the other one. It also has a belt clip on it. Now, you know what? I said it's not helpful to wear this when you're walking, but there's no reason why you couldn't just put it on the outside of your backpack when you drop it here. So you don't lose it and it's with you, or on your hammock or somewhere on your tent on a strap. So the clip does have some value. It has the same functions as the EMR10, and it basically operates the same way. A quick press of the button tells me, actually this one is long press. There we go. I don't think that's going to show. 100% charged on this one. And now if I want to turn on the heating element, I press and hold. There we go. So now it's showing low power and 13 hours of battery left on this one. If I turn it on high power, 8 hours of battery left on this one. Now the difference with this device and the other one is it uses a different size chemical pad or insecticide pad. Let me grab that one. So this pad is only half the size of the one that for the EMR10. However, it operates exactly the same way. You just slide it in through and it comes in contact with the heating element inside, and yeah, same operation. This also has the sonic device, different frequencies. I think this one has 1 or 2 frequencies, the others has a single frequency. I don't know, I can't hear them, right? But intended to do exactly the same thing. Keep the mice and other ground pests away from wherever you have this set up, presumably. Again, I can't comment on how effective that is. It's a feature I'd be interested in seeing if I ever have an opportunity to use it. That would be kind of a cool thing. Okay, those are the basic operation of these two devices. Now, I have one more small device I want to share with you. They included this. I don't think I knew it was coming, but it's a kind of a cool little thing. And this is the Bite Healer. Now, the Bite Healer has a rechargeable battery built in, USB Type-C right here, and 2 buttons on the side, low and high. And what this is when you press low or high, the little flat plate on the end heats up. Heats up a fair amount, but I wouldn't say a high degree, hot enough that you can definitely feel it. The concept is if you get bitten, if one of your other devices failed you, and they will, you know, they're not perfect, and you get a mosquito bite or something, that you can put this on the mosquito bite, press either the low or the high, and it will neutralize, I guess it's not venom, whatever it is that makes them itch and swell and everything else. I guess we'll call it the venom for the lack of a better word. I don't know, somebody can correct me. What is it that a mosquito does to you? But it will neutralize the response that your body has to that, so you don't get that big hive and itch from it. Does it work? Yeah, it does, within certain limitations. So here's what I found is I had an opportunity just recently to try this out. I got bitten on the back of my hand. I actually saw the mosquito. I slapped him off. I reached into my pocket because that's where it resides. That's the best place for it. And I applied it and I felt the heat, and guess what? That was it. No big reaction to the mosquito bite. So my experience has been, if you do it right away, not later when you're starting to scratch and then try to apply it, you want to keep the body's response, the histamine release, you want to keep that from occurring, and that happens by getting to the bite as soon as possible. Now, I'm hoping that I get a chance to try it on my wife. I know that sounds kind of cruel, right? My wife is much more seriously impacted by bites from everything than I am. I get a bite, I look at it, it's just a little bit, and then I forget about it. My wife gets huge welts that are like well, not half an inch, but like a 1/4 inch raised off of her skin. Haven't had an opportunity yet where she's got bitten that I was there, that I could have tried this on her. So I don't know. It'll be a good test of it, and there may be an opportunity for me to report back at a later date whether it helps her. I can say it does help me as long as you use it right away. That's my experience with it. Rechargeable, 2 heat settings. If the lower setting doesn't work, hit the higher setting, and it stays on for like 4 seconds, and that's it. And there's some blue lights. Let's see if I can get the lights to work. Yeah, they're not going to show up, I don't think. Can you see the little blue lights there? 3 dots, you know, 1/3 of the battery strength. That tells me how much is left on this. And then, yeah, it resides in my pocket. It's there if I need it. It doesn't take up any space, doesn't take up any room. Who knows? Maybe it'll just keep you from getting all itchy. All right, those are the basic overview of the key features for each of them. I just want to talk for a minute about my experiences using them and some caveats about their effectiveness. Okay, I wanted to mention this because I reviewed some other devices that were battery operated, and I had some mixed results with it, and viewers told me that they found the same thing. Sometimes they feel they worked well and sometimes they didn't. And the comment is that the heating element did not heat up to the proper degree to effectively disperse the chemical off of the little repellent pads. So I just wanted to comment on this because this is in the specifications for each of these devices. These will heat up to 180 degrees Celsius or 356 degrees Fahrenheit. I'll tell you that's considerably hotter than the other device was. So this has a much better chance of releasing the chemical and doing a proper job of dispersing it, and whether or not it's effective, there's a lot of other factors that go into that. Each of these pads, now I'm not quite sure how this works, but the small pad and the larger pad both have 10 milligrams of pralletherin. I think I got it, pralletherin. By the way, that is chemically related to permethrin, but a little bit different. I guess it's a little bit safer if you inhale some of it. I don't know. It's still a chemical in the air as far as I'm concerned. But each of these will last 6 hours. So each pad and each device, regardless of the size of it, will last up to 6 hours in that device. I don't know how you would know that. I'll tell you what my experience is that they start out a nice royal blue color, and as you use them, they fade to white. By the time, just like Thermacell, right? If they fade to white, it's obviously gone. If you're sitting around and suddenly you notice that you're covered in mosquitoes or black flies again, probably time to change the pad as well. Now, I don't want to get into a lengthy discussion on how effective these are, like if they're 80, 90, or 100% effective. And the reason I say that is because they are effective, but not 100%. There are so many factors involved in whether or not these will work for you in your given circumstances against these type of species or of the mosquito, if that's what it is in your area, that it's just hard to say. I will say they help. That's probably the best thing I'll say. Now, it's part of a full-on strategy for me. For instance, my clothes are covered in permethrin, and if I find it's really buggy and they're on my face and my hands, I'm going to put either DEET or a keratin on my skin to help repel them. I have long sleeves. That's all part of the different strategies. I'm sitting in a pretty windy site right now, which also helps. However, these devices do provide additional protection that, it's worth considering them. If you're going to buy a Thermacell and you just don't like the idea of having to use the gas cartridges to power the device, then maybe this is something worth taking a look at. So that's my experiences using the two of them. What I want to do now is open it up to you. Do you own either of these, the Nitecore EMR10 or the Nitecore EMR25? And what are your experiences using them? Put your comments in the comments section below. And of course, I'll put the links to where you can take another look at both of these devices, plus the bite healer, in the video description. But until next time, get out and explore and take that path less traveled, because it will make all the difference. Bye for now.